this is my Femex order history, and I had to create a new account on Femex because of, obviously, what happened with the last channel, and all my accounts were stolen. But I've made one trade on this account. One trade. And let's check it out. Closed P&L, total size was 3,700 Solana. Of course, that's on leverage on 25X. Entered at 32.50. I left at 34.8, not 34.9. It was at $35, and I had a limit order, and I was going to make an extra $500, but it ended up not getting filled. I just ended up market closing it. But if you look here at this, let me see if I can expand it a little bit more here. ROI 173% on this trade. So why am I showing you all this about Femex right now? Well, what I want to do is I want to create a strategy to where I'm basically, certain altcoins I'm trading on one site, Bitcoin I'm trading on another site, and Ethereum I'm trading on another site. That's kind of what I want. So that way we can track all of my altcoin gains with HiIQ, all of Ethereum and all of Bitcoin, and do it all separately. So for me, like this massive trade that I had this morning, which, look, I started with some money that Femex put in my account. Femex is the new sponsor on the channel. And, guys, I turned nothing into something like real quick with the HiIQ indicator. I know we're going to get into every day is going to be, on this show is going to be an adventure. Today, I know we are going to be focusing a little bit about on the indicator because it did really well. And I obviously absolutely crushed this trade. And I want to show you guys I'm using the 17-minute chart a lot. That's generally what the people who, help me create this indicator, which, by the way, is hiiq.store. And what'd you do with my little IQ button? I need to get that back for the show.
I have it in case you say anything stupid.
Oh, you are going to use it against me. I want to show you guys what I did on this trade and why I got in and how I crushed it so much. So basically what happened is this is the 17-minute chart. I entered, let's see, this would have been probably somewhere right about here. I entered. Now, you're looking here and you're seeing this E here. And you're seeing that I entered after that, or before that, excuse me. What happened is I entered this trade about right here, somewhere thereabouts. And so what happened is if you had entered right here on this candle would have seen it at $33 basically is what this candle was. And it went all the way up to $33. It went all the way down in the 17 minutes down to 32.7. That was the low. Yeah. So anyways, the point being here is you got this entry right here. Let's see. So when you hover over, it's going to show you everything right here. So the enter was at 32.893 and the stop loss was at $32.47. And they wanted you to take profit around $33. And then your stop loss percentage was, 1.27%, which is, I believe how much you can lose on the trade. I'm trying to get that figured out exactly. But the point is what occurs is you get the entry and then the trade was down. The trade was down like 1%. And if you watch this, if you watch the chart, if you watch HiIQ indicator, what you'll find is that a lot of the times, you're not really in the red. Like you hit a stop loss pretty quick when you hit one. And so to me, when I'm looking at the prospects of this trade right here, okay, and it was already down 1% and understanding the momentum is going up, I went and took a flyer and said, okay, this is down 1%. I bet this is going to end in the profit. So let me go ahead and actually enter along right now. And so that's what I did. And it paid off, dividends very well. Now you will notice over here, technically this did hit a stop loss. But because I entered lower, my stop loss was actually lower. And so it was okay for me to stay in that trade. And I woke up this morning and checked it. And, it's kind of like, let's say you're sports betting and your team, let's just say the Falcons in this case. God, what a bad game yesterday. Anyways, let's say the Falcons have generally over the last 5 seasons, let's say they're like 42-40 or something like that against the spread, pretty even. But let's say they've lost 5 in a row or they've won 5 in a row. You're like, okay, well, generally They're about 50-50, and they've lost 5 in a row. Okay. So chances are they're going to break this streak pretty soon. And so
Yeah.
what you can do is you can start betting on them to break that streak. And if they lose, you just double it, because they're not going to lose like 10 in a row against the spread, most likely. There are rare scenarios where something like that can happen. So the point is you're kind of hedging your bets a little bit. If somebody's about 50-50 to do something and they've lost like 5 or 6 games in a row, then, chances are that streak is not going to continue for a super long time, or else they'll have to adjust the odds. So what I'm saying here is the fact this trade was down 1% when I got into it, that was good for me, right? Like that meant that if the momentum goes up, now I've gained an extra percent just if it catches back up to the entry point. So I felt really good about it, and it was a really solid. I've been very patient over the last week. I've been waiting for a good trade, and I finally got that one, and now I'm rolling and I'm ready to go.
Nice.
So that's kind of what my strategy was with that trade. I want to show that for sure. But do you want to, AJ, before we get into anything else and we look at the markets and stuff, do you want to kind of give us your take on, high IQ and how, people can kind of use it, how you've been using it or looking at it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've tried about every indicator that there is in crypto. I've tried every single indicator that there is. And I like a lot of them for different reasons. For example, I really like Lux Algo for like the scalper setting and like the bands, the EQ bands and stuff like that. Obviously I'm really big on Market Cypher. I'm actually sponsored by Market Cypher. I like Market Cypher B. I like the dual band strength index, and I use those for different reasons. But what I like about high IQ is the oscillator isn't bad, but the part that I like the most is the entry points at the top and the way that it can kind of hold your hand through a trade as it kind of moves up the chart. Because a lot of people, especially beginners, like they don't know like when should I take profits, or how long should I ride this out, or like it told me to enter but it's going down, like should I bail right away? I mean, so like the Solana chart, for instance. So I noticed this. I think it was on the I think I saw it on the 17-minute. But so anyway, the point I'm making is I saw this happen. It might have been on a different time frame, but basically, like, imagine if it flashed the enter right here. Okay, I'll make that a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Say it says the enter right here, and it immediately falls, that about 1% fall before it goes up like this big, this big chunk. And a lot of times, especially trading with leverage, like especially beginner traders, they're not used to the swings, the ebb and flow of trading. So basically, it's like one of those things where you have to get comfortable taking that dip before it goes up. I understand that like you want to have a pretty tight stop loss, but not like nothing too crazy. But my point here is that like when with trading, it's kind of like if you ever played poker, a lot of poker players are really good dealing with the swings of trading, because like you're always going to take that initial hit. And then, but if it flashes an entry indicator, like the entry, and then you're like, oh no, it's going down, this thing's wrong, just be patient. I think the high IQ helps beginners or even experienced traders deal with their patience, because it kind of like, if it goes down like 1% right away, you're like, oh my God, this is terrible, I'm going to bail. But if you're just like, you know what, like, I'm just going to trust the process here, let's just ride it out. This thing can really help you like walk up the hill on the trade. Because sometimes, you have to be, some people don't want to deal with that patience. Some people want to get in the long and it go up right away the second they go long. It's not always like that. You're going to have to deal with the swings, and a lot of traders struggle with that. And I know I did, especially because when you start trading heavily, I started heavily leverage trading January, February 2021. And a lot of trades were just killer, knock out the park all day. I'm the best trader in the world. And then, in 22 is like when I really learned how to short. That was kind of like when it was really put to the test. Like, was I just winning because it was a bull market, or was I winning because I know what I'm doing? And that was kind of like the trial and error of trading. And you're always going to go. And the second you think you have it figured out, you're going to get wrecked. And then right when you're about to give up, you're going to win a big trade. So it's about like getting comfortable dealing with the swings. And I think that the high IQ indicator is a big help. It's a big help for people that are really unsure about like how to maintain and how to stay, like when to get in, when to get out, everything like that. So